I just bought 85 trees, which might have been a little bit overkill, but here we are, so I'm committing. All right, now, you might be like, Austin, what's the plan? What's the deal? This is food farm finance. You're not just supposed to be spending money willy-nilly. Well, what if I told you that these trees could help cut down my feed costs for my herd of goats? Yes, that's right. These are all native species, native to Tennessee, Zone 7A, that will make practical fodder sources for my goats. And part of what I'm doing is turning this field right back here into a silvopasture. Now, if you don't know what a silvopasture is, I might be butchering this, but basically it's where you have trees that provide shade. A lot of times they produce other food items or timber, etc. And there's lots of space for grass in between to graze your livestock and your critters. And that's exactly what the goal is with these 4 trees. Now, the key, of course, is going to be keeping the goats from eating the trees before they get too established. That's not what this video is going to be about. We're just going to talk through these 4 species of trees and why you might consider adding them if you have a goat operation, okay? And number 1, first and foremost, because it's an iconic tree in Tennessee, are going to be these guys right here. Now, these are bare roots. So all these are bare root trees. That's why you can just see, shocker, bare roots. And we're gonna plant these out and they're gonna leaf out and hopefully establish really nicely. But these ones right here are Tennessee redbud trees. All right, now if you've ever been to Tennessee, you know that the redbuds are kind of iconic in spring. They put off these gorgeous flowers. Peep a Tennessee redbud right here. Ironically, I don't think I have a Tennessee redbud on this property. I might have like 3 or 4, but I have 26 acres and there's a decent amount of trees and woods. So it's actually surprising I don't have more. But I wanted to get these because they are a native tree. They're beautiful. They add color in spring, gorgeous flowers, but also they make really great fodder for livestock. So they're a great browsing tree for them. They like to eat the bark, the leaves, etc. But they also put off these really good seed pods rich in nutrients that wildlife and goats absolutely love. So this is definitely not something that I'm using for myself. It's just for enjoyment, pretty up the area. But once we get these established, they'll make a really nice shade tree for the goats and they'll put off delicious seed pods that should help bring some more nutrients into my goats' lives. Next up, perhaps even just as iconic to the redbuds, we have dogwoods. Now, if you've been to Tennessee, you know we have things like the Dogwood Festival. Unfortunately, dogwoods in our area have been absolutely decimated. And these might have issues with that as well, but there's a fungal disease that just destroys dogwoods in our area, even though they are a native tree. So we are going to attempt to plant some of these. I've actually planted a couple of these in my yard just for the vibes, same with a couple of these redbuds, but the rest are going out in the pasture. And that's because the leaves do make an excellent fodder. They can chew on the shoots. They do like to do that. And the berries, actually berries that they produce little red berries, will be eaten by the goats. Now you gotta be careful, dogwood species vary and the palatability of those berries vary with the species, but these guys should be just fine. And the important thing is you're not going to kill the goats with these berries. They are fine for consumption. Even if your goats don't choose to eat them and they don't choose to have them as a nutrient source, they're not gonna kill your goats. And that is really, really critical because certain things like cherry trees absolutely can cause lots of issues with livestock. And we got 2 more, and these ones are the most selfish of the bunch. So these are great for wildlife as well, great for the goats, great for shade. So they're serving several functions, but these ones go a little further. So also great for wildlife, great for shade, great for goats, but also these ones, great for me because they produce food items that we are going to eat in our household. The first one is going to be these. These are persimmon trees. So not your Asian persimmon. These are an American persimmon. So they're native here and they actually are great goat fodder. The goats will eat the fallen persimmons. They apparently love them. I have no experience with that. So my goats might actually be like, no, not doing that. And we might just have a bunch of gross, rotten food laying around, which would really be not ideal. But we're gonna plant these in the pasture. They get big, so they should have good shade for the critters and also provide additional food. And more importantly, we'll get some food out of it too because I love persimmons. So I'm really excited to plant these out because I'm gonna be able to hopefully harvest some persimmons for myself. And the last one, I have saved the best for last. And this one, a lot of people have been using. These actually look to be the healthiest of all the bare roots here, and I just cannot wait. These are mulberries. So red mulberries, not white mulberries. Do not plant white mulberries in Tennessee. But the red mulberries are native. And what makes these so powerful is not only can we eat the mulberries to make jams, and we can eat them kind of like a sweet tart blackberry situation, but these produce excellent nutrition sources for livestock. So the leaves can be eaten raw, like fresh green leaves, but you can also dry the leaves and store them over winter, similar to the way you would use hay, which gives you a really powerful way to save up food sources for your livestock in winter. Additionally, they will happily eat the fallen berries from these trees, so you can enjoy fresh leaves, dried leaves, and the fallen berries. And they are an immaculate, fast-growing shade tree. So this guy right here is really providing a ton of value to the goat operation. And honestly, I recommend everyone try and sprinkle a few of these into your pastures because I think a little goes a long way, and I'm really excited. So these are 4 different trees I'm using to help create shade in my pasture for the goats. Of course, this is a very long-term thing. I mean, look at the size of this tree, but they say the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. So I'm hoping that, you know, when I'm 40, I can look back and be like, I'm really proud of doing that, you know? So this is the plan. They're all native. They're gonna help produce some food for myself and my critters, which is a really powerful thing. Really can't wait. Now I just have to plant the suckers and keep the dang things alive because these goats are going to love to snack on these. We're gonna address potentially how to do that in another video, and talk about planting out bare roots in another video. I have some videos on planting bare root plants, particularly from when I planted my fruit tree orchard, so I will link that below. But yeah, I hope this video has helped, and I hope you can start using some of these as food sources to really help start cutting down on your feed bill. This mulberry tree is particularly impactful because it produces so many options. It gives you fresh leaves, gives you dried leaves, and it gives you food for your family. So I think it's really my favorite, but all these are great options, and I cannot wait to keep you updated on how they grow. Until next time, this is Food Farm and Finance. I would love for you to comment below if you use trees at all in your pastures as a food source, okay? This used to be something that was very commonly done, and I don't think we're doing it that much these days. And I would love to know your experience and what you recommend in the comments, all right? I will see y'all next time.